Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
And welcome. It's the beginning of another week. I'm Dave Adams, and glad to have you with us on Valley Talk today. We've got a two-part segment of the show today. We've got Victor Kuhns, who is going to be talking to us live. In fact, we have him on the phone right now. We'll be visiting with him in just a moment. He is going to be talking to us live from Washington, D.C. He is back there helping to observe the 30th anniversary of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall, and he attended that and some other notable attractions, and we'll be talking to him about his experiences there and what's going on in D.C. Weather's nicer there than it is here in Albany today, so we'll be checking into that in just a moment. Last half of the show from 11:30 to noon, talking to Paul Aziz, who has been elected as the new mayor for Lebanon. And we're going to be talking to Paul about what he sees for the city going forward, what he would like to do initially, and what he perceives as what the city needs going forward. And so we'll get his comments now that voters have elected him to office and what needs to happen going forward in his viewpoint. So having him on the show at 11:30 this morning. As always, a big thank you to Quiznos in Albany for being a KGAL Valley Talk sponsor. We are giving away a $10 gift certificate for Quiznos at the end of the show. Simply send me an email, dave@kgal.com, or call KGAL at 541-926 or 451-KGAL. That's 926-KGAL or 451-KGAL. And say you want to be put in the Quiznos Taste on Us drawing. At the end of the show, we're giving away a $10 gift certificate. That's good for a sub sandwich. It's good for chips, drinks, whatever combination thereof you want. Tasty food. We enjoy lunch there every day, and it's really good. Thanks to Dale and the crew for the fine sandwiches they put together. It's Quiznos in Albany. Taste on Us is what you need to put, and the email address is dave@kgal.com. This is Valley Talk, and we are so glad you are deciding to join us. Now, the time here is 11:08 on the Pacific time zone, but back in Washington, D.C., it's a different time, and the weather's also a little bit nicer. Victor Kuhns is on the phone with us. Victor, glad to have you with us today.
Good morning, or I should say good afternoon my time. It's right now 11 minutes after 2, and the weather here is gorgeous. It's partly cloudy, 65 degrees, and no wind. Absolutely a nice day.
So you were honored with this trip as a veteran to honor here in the Pacific Northwest, here in the Mid-Willamette Valley, and a generous benefactor paid your trip and for you and your lovely wife to go back to Washington, D.C. and enjoy the Veterans Day celebration there and the 30th anniversary of the Vietnam War Memorial. Has that occurred yet?
Yes, it did. Yesterday we were at the 30th anniversary at the wall. There was over 20,000 people there for the memorial. Absolutely a wonderful program and an opportunity. I've had 3 different occasions to go to the wall and just sit and reminisce and look up a couple of the buddies that I lost in Vietnam.
So you have a unique perspective. You're a veterans advocate helping other veterans, but you were in Vietnam and you were in, you received some battle wounds over there. You were in some firefights. So you know what it's like to be a Vietnam veteran and experience all the ramifications of that and the subsequent PTSD and so on and so forth. So you know what it's like to be a Vietnam veteran and visit the wall. Tell me, in your words, what's going through your mind? What's it like when you're at the wall and seeing all those names and just the atmosphere there?
Well, when I walked over to the wall, the first thing I realized was every man and woman on that wall was an important factor to this country and the freedom that we recognize today. And it was very humbling to realize that those men and women that are there are ageless, and that what they did for this country and for each and every one of us was very humbling. And so by going back there and seeing those people and reading the names on the wall, not only the buddies that I lost, but the 58,000 other names. I had an opportunity throughout 3 days of going back and forth and listening to all 58,237 names being read out loud over 3 days, 24 hours a day. And it was very humbling. And meeting the veterans that come from all over the United States. I've met veterans from Texas, from Arizona, from New Mexico, from Pittsburgh, from New York, from Maine, from Oklahoma, from Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota. I've met them from all over and had opportunities to talk with them and their experiences. And we're all advocates and trying to remember one thing, that we're letting all veterans know from all eras and all wars that they've been in, that there are benefits out there. And these benefits are not something that is just given freely. They're entitlements that they've earned. And this is an opportunity for all of us to come together and put our heads together to figure out ways to help other veterans.
Is visiting the wall for a Vietnam veteran like yourself, is it healing?
It is healing. It's a point in time when now I can say that I had an opportunity to sit and remember back and even go back in time and the faces that I seen in my memories when I put my hand on the wall was able to bring back what it was back then, and I seen them as young men and women even today. It reminded me that we were all there for a cause and a reason, and that each one of us had a responsibility to give what we could give, and they give their all. And it reminded me what my journey is here, and that's to continue helping veterans. And I can feel good about what I do now because I was able to talk to the two buddies that I lost there.
Are you able to talk to other veterans that are visiting the wall? What kinds of things, what kind of things do you talk about? What's going on there?
Well, a lot of veterans, it's a healing process for them. Not only was there veterans from the Vietnam War, but there were actually veterans that I've had an opportunity to talk to that come from Iraq and Afghanistan. And some of them were here with their fathers and their mothers that actually served in Vietnam. And we talked about entitlements, and we talked about benefits. We talked about the war as a whole and what it meant and the freedoms that the country endures today, and the opportunity just to be able to come to such programs as the 30th anniversary of the Vietnam War.
What would you say to listeners of this program? And the question I'm going to ask you is, why is it important to have things like Veterans Day and the Vietnam War Memorial and the other war memorials in Washington, D.C., so that we don't forget the veterans? Just how important is that in the veteran in bringing them back home psychologically and letting him know you appreciate him?
Well, not only for the veteran, but also the veterans' families. These memorials are very important because it's a remembrance of the duty and the responsibility that they had to this country, not only to family, but to extended family and those throughout the country. These memorials stand out to remind us that the freedom we have wasn't free, that there was a lot of blood shed all the way from the Revolutionary War clear up till today to keep this country to the freedom we have. And it's very important that if you are not a veteran, that you still attend one of these memorials and you come here and you see what's out here and you see the heartfelt appreciation of when they are able to touch the wall or touch one of the memorials. I was able to go to the Korean Memorial and the World War II Memorial. I spent half a day at the Iwo Jima Memorial for the Marine Corps' 237th birthday for the presentations there. What an honor that was.
Now, you're a Marine, too, so that had a special significance for you.
Semper Fi, that's correct. It did. And it was a wonderful ceremony. We had probably 4,000 Marines there sitting in attendance during the ceremony and placing of the wreath.
Special pride in being a Marine. When you were, how old were you when you went in the Marine Corps?
I was 17 years old.
What did the Marines do for you?
Well, the Marines give me a sense of direction, a sense of pride, and a sense of responsibility to a nation of people that are still infinite in their learning and understanding of the democratic process and the freedom that we should not be led, but we should We should be learned people and learn and take responsibility for the freedoms we have.
What would you say to people, maybe politicians that are listening and members of the general public, and the country, the state, federal government, local governments, all governments are looking at some serious budget dilemmas and looking at cutting a number of programs, probably some veterans programs, although I don't have any details here in front of me. What would you say to people to argue the fact that the Vietnam veterans and the veterans benefits programs are high priority budget items and worthy of continuing funding? If you were sitting in front of a congressional budget committee and they were saying, Victor, why when we're, so many $1 trillion in debt and all programs in the United States have to face cuts, why shouldn't we cut veterans benefits?
Well, the first thing we look at is the veterans benefit is an entitlement that was earned. It is not something that's just freely given. These young men and women, even today, have served and they've earned those benefits. They're not just given away as some programs that we have in this country. But I would tell our nation's legislatures, our cities, counties, and programs that they have today, that before we start cutting into the programs for the veterans, the elderly, the poor, we need to cut programs overseas. We need to cut programs to other countries. Even God said that we should take care of our own house first. And this country is our own house. And we cannot help other countries unless we help ourselves.
Let's talk about Vets Helping Vets HQ. Your website is vetshelpingvetshq.com. What is this organization? What does it do?
This organization, Vets Helping Vets HQ, is an organization that was developed and put together in process to help veterans get their benefits, not only the veterans, but the widows of veterans and families of veterans. Also to help those veterans that are in need, that have disabilities, that no longer can take care of some of the programs and things that they have in their own homes, such as they may need a handicap ramp and we'll come out and build them, or they may need gutter repairs and we'll put together a group and come out and repair them. We have many programs, including helping widows retain their veterans benefits and also help them through their needed times.
Okay. How do people contact Vets Helping Vets HQ?
They can contact Vets Helping Vets by going on the email, and they can email me at Victor Kuhns, VictorKuhns at gmail.com, or Victor Kuhns, Kuhns at yahoo.com. And they can send in their request and they can contact me there, or they can call me at 541-905-7237.
And Victor, I know you weren't here for the parade yesterday, but if they go to your website, vetshelpingvetshq.com, they can see a video and audio of yesterday's Veterans Parade in Albany.
I understand that, and I understand that you videotape the whole thing, put it on YouTube, and it can be pulled up by anybody across the country.
Yeah,
and the people jump on there, pull it up, and look to see the honor that was given to all veterans from all wars, and it was all represented right there in that parade in Albany, Oregon. And that parade is the largest parade west of the Mississippi.
And it was an honor to be there and video that for vetshelpingvetshq.com and OperationEaglesWings.us, which is another veterans advocate group, and that works closely with Vets Helping Vets. So, Victor, we're going to take a short break here and talk to you about some of the other sites that you visited in Washington, D.C. on your trip, and some of your recollections, some of your remembrances, some of your observances as you've been there in Veterans Day, and just seeing the sights of Washington, D.C. We'll do that here for about another 10 minutes. So we'll take a break and be right back with Victor Kuhns on Valley Talk. Don't forget the second half of the show. We're going to be talking to Paul Aziz, who is the new mayor for the city of Lebanon, talking about the future direction of the city. This is Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Back in a moment.
'Tis the season and time for planning holiday parties and memorable company celebrations. Be sure to include Mama's Fine Italian in your plans. Have the party at Mama's in Lebanon or book them to cater your event. Either way, it will be superb, and your guests will love it. Need a special bottle of wine for dinner tonight or for a party hostess gift? No better place or price than Mama's incomparable wine shop. Closed Sunday and Monday, so make the most of the other 5 days and join your friends at Mama's. Like them on Facebook or contact them through their website, mamasfineitalian.com. Call for reservations or to plan your holiday party. 541-451-5050. That's 451-5050. Mama's Fine Italian and Wine Shop on West Oak between Main and 2nd in Lebanon, across from the big blue Napa Auto Parts building.
There's a lifetime of reasons why I went to Awesome DeFore Funeral Home for pre-planning. By making the decisions ahead of time, my family knew what I wanted and didn't have to struggle over what to do or how to pay for it. It was much easier for the advanced planning consultants at Awesome DeFore to guide me through the process than it would be for my loved ones. And I know I can count on Awesome DeFore to make sure things go smoothly when the time comes.
Awesome DeFore Funeral Home on Ellsworth in Albany.
Beaver Nation, this is Megan McBride, setter for your Oregon State volleyball team.
Megan McBride with the kill.
The Oregon State volleyball season is in full force. Do you have your tickets?
Nassar again from McBride. Side out Beavers.
Purchase your single game tickets today at beavertickets.com. This is Beaver Nation.
If you're a Democrat, Republican, or Independent, you're welcome to check out our issue-free cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs at Jones 5 Auto Sales on 9th Street in Corvallis. Every vehicle is AutoCheck certified and must pass an extensive safety and performance inspection, and if there was an issue, we fixed it. We know you have other choices this election year, and we hope you pick us for your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Proud to be an American? Check us out at our 3 locations on 9th Street in Corvallis, online at jones5auto.com, or like us on Facebook. You'll love the way we do things.
Landscapers, nursery farmers, and homeowners prefer Land Pride rotary tillers because they just plain work. Rugged and dependable, Land Pride tillers come in your choice of forward or reverse tine models and are proudly made in America. You'll find Land Pride tillers at Lynn Benton Tractor in Silverton and Tangent. And you can get all the details at lynnbentontractor.com or this week during the Willamette Valley Ag Expo at the Lynn County Fairgrounds.
Lynn Benton Tractor, we're still doing business the American way.
If it happens overnight, Eric and Gary have it live during Red Eye Radio on Smart Talk 1580 KGAL.
We are Valley Talk, and I'm Dave Adams. Glad to have you with us today. Don't forget to sign up for our drawing at the end of the show. We're going to be giving away a $10 gift certificate for Quiznos in Albany. Dale and the good crew there doing fantastic work putting together some rather tasty sandwiches. I have a chance to imbibe of those usually every lunch. I go down there and get a sandwich, and I love the honey mustard and the turkey and the cheese. Oh, it's just great. Quiznos. Quiznos Taste on Us. Send me an email, dave@kgal.com, or call KGAL at 926-KGAL or 451-KGAL. Say you want to be put in the drawing, and at the end of this show, we're going to draw somebody's name, and you are going to walk away with a $10 gift certificate from Quiznos. Good only at the Albany store next to Novak's Restaurant and next to the old G.I. Joe Sporting Goods location. Thanks to Dale and the crew for being a part of Valley Talk. Victor Kuhns is in Washington, D.C., and one of the things that he did was observe the 30th anniversary of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial called The Wall. One of the things that they've recently added is a women's memorial for the women Vietnam veterans. Tell us about that, Victor.
Well, it was quite a sight. The Women's Memorial was actually put in, and they brought it to life last year, and it's a remembrance of all the women who served in Vietnam and their sacrifices. And it was a very heartwarming and humbling view when you went up to it, because as you stood at the Women's Memorial, they have placed it to where it looks down upon the names of all 58,237 soldiers, men and women that lost their lives. And the memorial was very, very fitting to all of our women who serve in this nation and the sacrifices that they give. I was very humbled by it, And I thank our women for the sacrifices that they do for this country.
What role did women play in Vietnam?
The women in Vietnam were nurses and clerks, worked in the offices. But when we say that, many times they think, well, they weren't in harm's way. The women were in harm's way on a regular basis because the bases were bombed, their missiles coming in, they were shot at. It was on a continuous basis, the snipers. So the women had a lot of fear because they didn't have time to pick up a weapon. They were in surgical rooms and operating rooms and getting wounded back on their feet, either to come home or to go back out and fight. So women had a very stressful program over there. And the women today have moved forward. They're now pilots in our air forces and our militaries. They actually work in the fields. They're trained, and just like the men are, to be in the field. These women today are spectacular in their jobs and what they do. We can't honor them enough. They're doing everything that a man does and beyond in a lot of times.
What special needs are there for the Vietnam vet as compared to other ages of veterans like World War II, Korean, even the Gulf and Iraq War? Are there certain needs that the Vietnam vet needs that the other veterans don't, just because of the nature of the conflict and just what was going on at that time?
Well, the Vietnam veterans, when they come home, it was very difficult for them to get benefits. They were the battleground in legislation to help move things forward for these entitlements. To say that the Vietnam veteran has anything more coming than any other veteran in any other war, no, they don't. If they earn the entitlement, they should get them. And all veterans, whether it's Vietnam, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, Bosnia, any one of them, Afghanistan or Iraq, should go get their benefits if they're entitled to them. These are entitlements, and we encourage all of them to get them, because if they're not entitled to them, they're not going to get them, but they're there for them.
Victor, you visited a number of other sites there in Washington, D.C. on this trip. What stands out in your mind other than the wall? I know the wall was, and the Marine observance there, the anniversary of the Marine Corps. What else stands out in your mind as favorite sites?
Yes, you're thinking of the statue of Iwo Jima.
Yes.
That 237th birthday was held for the Marine Corps. It was a wonderful program. But, I've had an opportunity to visit the White House and tour the White House, the Capitol. I've been there and toured the Capitol. I've also visited 9 of the 19 museums at the Smithsonian Institute. And the history that is laying here in this country from the beginning of the time of this country to today is just amazing. And anybody that would want to understand what the freedoms are that we have today and need to be very careful, because those freedoms are fragile on any day. And people need to realize, all of our people and our politicians need to realize how fragile it is, that we could lose all of this tomorrow if we don't pay attention and understand that the freedoms are earned by those that are on the wall and those that are represented in each one of these memorials.
I understand you toured the White House and were not impressed by its size. It was much smaller than you thought it would be.
Yes, it was. It was much smaller. The red room, the green room, the blue room were very, very small. They're not what you see on TV and is portrayed on the television. They look like huge rooms. The ballrooms, the banquet rooms that they have there are small. When they portray them on TV, for some reason, they look huge and they look large, but they're not. The Capitol is only 5,400 square feet, and so it was not what I called. I thought I was going into something that was just huge. It wasn't the president and his family's home is on the top floor of the White House. Of course, you weren't able to go up there, but the main floor was a lot smaller than we anticipated. I and my wife got a special tour into the culinary area, the kitchen, and that others didn't get. And that was very small. I thought it would be a huge kitchen the way they talk about all the chefs and everything. There's only 6 chefs on staff and 2 bakery chefs, so 8 total that take care of the White House.
Victor, anything you'd like to add in closing out this segment of the show about your trip, the Wall Memorial, the 30th anniversary, and of course the anniversary of the Marine Corps? Closing thoughts.
What I can say to every veteran out there is this is a place that they need to come, they need to see these memorials, and they need to spend time. If you're a Vietnam veteran, you served in Vietnam, you have no closure in your life till you come here and walk the wall. The closure comes when you walk the wall, and it can be very difficult, it can be very hard, but it's very humbling, and it's very heartwarming. So if you're a Vietnam veteran, plan on coming to the wall.
Victor, I've never been back to Washington, D.C., and I'm looking forward to maybe going back this spring and seeing the sites that you've done. And again, thank you. We just want to thank you on the air for the work that you do with VetsHelpingVetsHQ.com is the website. You and I hang out a lot together, and I know your phone rings sometimes 7, 8 o'clock at night with veterans calling you for support, for help with benefits, and I just publicly want to thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you. And I'm available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for any veteran that is looking for that help. And my phone and my email is always available. Again, I'll be back from Washington, D.C. on Thursday afternoon, and I look forward to getting right back to work and helping every veteran that I can.
Okay, you have a good time while you're in D.C., and just tell your lovely wife hi, and just have a good time.
I will. And God bless everybody.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Victor Kuhns, live from Washington, D.C., here on Valley Talk. We wanted to visit with him. Of course, he has a program called Vet Talk. Now, he won't be here for Vet Talk this Wednesday. I'm going to be hosting the show, and we'll have a veterans issue on this week's show. And, of course, next month, second Wednesday of the month, Victor will be back on Vet Talk here on KGAL in the Valley Talk time slot here on KGAL News Talk 1580. When we come back, Paul Aziz is in the studio. Congratulations, Paul. You are the new mayor for Lebanon.
Mayor-elect, yes. Thank you very much.
Mayor-elect. We'll be talking about Lebanon, what needs to happen, in your view, for the city going forward now that you've been rather resoundingly put into office. It was a rather comfortable margin of victory.
Yes, it was very, very pleasing.
So we'll talk about that when we come back on the show on Valley Talk here in just a moment. Again, don't forget, sign up for Quiznos Taste on Us. Send an email to dave@kgal.com or call KGAL 926-KGAL or 451-KGAL for the Quiznos Taste on Us $10 gift certificate drawing. And we'll be back in just a moment.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit AutoOwners.com. This is Charles Osgood. The silver lining to the obesity crisis in this country, with more than a third of adults in that category, is that it's opening up lots of jobs in one particular field.
The demand for personal trainers is growing. The number of fitness instructors is expected to jump almost 25% over the next decade.
Our CBS News colleague, Bigad Shaban, has looked into this and found some good reasons for it, as you'll hear after this. In this moment, who has your back? Do you know the name of your insurance agent? Does your agent know your name? Or would you call a 1-800 number that connects you with who? Another state? Another country? Get a local, independent insurance agent with Auto Owners Insurance. Someone you can call when bad stuff happens to your car, home, or business. In this moment, get an agent who will protect you in that moment. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people.
In Albemarle, call Bear Insurance Service at 704-982-1156.
Every day, it seems, there's something new your smartphone can do. Now, it can open and close your garage door from anywhere in the world. With a LiftMaster garage door opener with MyQ technology, you can use your smartphone or computer to control your garage door from anywhere, anytime. Like right now. And LiftMaster garage door openers with battery backup keep your garage door working even if the power isn't. Find a dealer near you at liftmaster.com. Go ahead, look it up on your smartphone. Brigade Shaban was telling us about the spike in jobs for personal trainers.
Dr. Cedric Bryant from the American Council on Exercise believes this spike is directly connected to the nation's obesity epidemic.
Without a doubt, personal trainers are seeing more obese individuals and individuals who are suffering from a variety of obesity-related conditions.
Losing weight is never easy, and for some it seems downright impossible.
Ryan Harbrick struggled to lose weight on his own for most of his life.
My knowledge of working out is very limited and just kind of stumbling all over the place. No real guidance, no real goal setting.
The weight just kept piling on. At 6'6", he got up to 375 pounds.
There was also a lot of depression going on.
Desperate to get healthy physically and emotionally, he hired a personal trainer.
Personal trainer Chris Dobrachelsky.
It's about dealing with the personal issues, the personal obstacles, and setting something up that meets them at their place of need, and then following up over time.
Over time. It doesn't happen overnight. And Harbrick has had his ups and downs.
It's not happiness in a pill. It's, really sticking for the long haul, getting it taken care of in a healthy fashion.
But right now, his spirits are up and his weight is down, says Brigade Shaban.
Since March, Ryan has lost 2 inches from his waist and added healthy muscle.
The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
When you look out across Willamette Valley, you'll see plenty of banking choices. But we're here to give you an option that's pretty unique, like no other in fact. Hi, I'm Dave Wood, President and CEO of Willamette Community Bank. We provide an alternative to large national and regional banks by offering customized financial services and local decision-making to benefit local people, local families, and local businesses. How many banks can say that? Willamette Community Bank, service like no other, we promise. Member FDIC.
Do you have dark circles or puffy eyes? If you have dark circles under your eyes, bags, or puffiness, we're looking for you. Because right now, we're offering a risk-free trial of a fast-acting eye cream to listeners of this station. You heard right. Every listener who calls now can try a risk-free jar of Lumitone, the cream that fades dark circles from view in seconds. We only have a limited supply of risk-free jars, so don't wait. For details, just call 1-800-865-1483. Lumitone makes dark circles less visible in seconds. Watch your dark circles fade from view like magic. And Lumitone is great for puffiness, bags, and fine lines by the eyes. This risk-free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Call us now for details on this Lumitone risk-free offer. Just call 1-800-865-1483. That's 1-800-865-1483. 1-800-865-1483.
This Medicare season, come home to Samaritan Advantage Health Plan, where you're always welcome and never a stranger. Home is all about you and your needs, and that's how our members feel when they join Samaritan Advantage. For example, our members know we take our commitment to their care seriously because we take the time to listen to their concerns, either on the phone or in our Corvallis office. And they know we know local health care best. After all, we live here too. Now's the time to get the quality care and treatment you deserve during Medicare's open enrollment. Learn more at a neighborhood meeting. Call Samaritan Advantage in Corvallis at 1-800-832-4580 to reserve your seat. Don't wait another year. Come home.
Join us November 13th at 9:30 a.m. at Lincoln City Community Center, 2150 Northeast Orr Place in Lincoln City. Call 1-800-832-4580 to learn more.
Home improvement will never be the same once you've heard The Money Pit. Saturday mornings on Smart Talk 1580.
Valley Talk, back once again. I'm Dave Adams. Glad to have you with us on this Monday. A little bit rainy, but it's the time of year, but the rain is what makes it so green. Nice and green here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. I'm Dave Adams. Glad to have you with us. Thank you to Victor Kuhns for visiting with us from Washington, D.C. Back now in Albany, live in the studios, we have Paul Aziz. Paul is the mayor-elect for Lebanon. Congratulations on your victory, Paul.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you very much. And I did want to say I wanted to thank the people of Lebanon for their votes, for their support. And I think it was a pretty resounding vote to show that they did want a little bit of change. They wanted little bit more transparency, and that they wanted some of the things that I ran on, and that was just being a more honest, open government. And even though they weren't doing anything wrong, and there were things that were done right, so, when you're running a campaign, you don't get to say that. So I just want to say the city has done some great things, and there's been some great economic development. And I really plan on continuing that economic development and building on that, actually, and making it even better. But I just want to be clear about that, because a lot of people thought that, because I was bringing up the things that I was running against, they think that maybe I didn't have any positive ideas of Lebanon. I love Lebanon. Obviously, I have a passion for our town. So that's one of the things that I just want to thank everybody.
So that was you went actually to my first question, which is a 2,000 vote margin for your victory, so a rather resounding victory for the statement that you were running on, which is more transparency in government. What would you say to the folks who didn't vote for you that might be concerned that you might take because Lebanon has been, to be quite honest, and Albany may not like me to say this, but Albany and Lebanon have been comparative as far as economic development, and Lebanon has, brought in various health institutions and so on and so forth, the Veterans Home. There's been a lot of development and businesses that have come to Lebanon as successes, economic development successes. And some people may be afraid that now that there is basically a change in direction for Lebanon, a new city manager coming in, we don't yet know who that will be, new mayor, of course, concerned that maybe that, positive economic growth might be stunted because now there's a bit of a change in direction. What would you say to those folks?
I would absolutely say there may be a slight pause right now, especially because the city manager, as John hit, will be leaving, and we'll be choosing a new city manager. That process, we need someone who is a person who has economic development experience. And so I think with that person in there, I am a pro-economic development. I do want to see our town grow. So I plan on building on what we have here. The college, the Veterans Home, Lowe's, the different things that we have in town. We do have some really positive things. Many of the things in the campaign that I was not happy with were the way that some of the different things were brought about. And it was, again, the transparency. It was not really understanding all the ramifications of certain businesses coming in. But I want to continue that. And I really think that with a new city manager, and we get somebody who's got economic development experience, I think we can even make it better. And I think we can continue on that realm. This Wednesday night will be an executive session, and the newly elected people will be going in, city council members and myself will be going in, and we'll be looking at resumes of the city council, the city manager candidates. And there's 13 of them, and we'll be looking at those, and we'll be starting to figure out the process of hiring the new city manager. And one of the things, too, is I discussed with John Hitt. He was supposed to be leaving this month, and I would be really interested to have him stay an extra couple of months so that he could transition this new person, because he does have a lot of really good economic development experience and brought a lot of good things here. So I'd really like to see him stay for a couple of months. And he was interested in possibly doing that and was possibly available. So I'm hoping that the city council will choose that, and that he would stay a couple months extra so that we could transition that new person and really, I think, have a good handoff.
John Hitt was very instrumental in a lot of the growth in Lebanon.
Absolutely. He sure was.
What are you looking for in a new city manager?
Well, as I mentioned, the economic growth, I think, again, someone who's along the lines of accountability, the transparency, being more accessible to people, and just being a good communicator. Those are some really important things, but also being really, really good with finances and being able to manage the city budget. There's so many different things that I have in mind that I want to see in a good city manager.
You talk about transparency, and that's what you ran. The voters apparently like that because you were put into office by a couple thousand vote margin. What will you do to increase the transparency? Obviously, there's a feeling, you expressed it, voters expressed it at the polls, if they want to see more transparency. How are you going to make it more transparent?
Well, the first thing is, a lot of times you'll hear that, well, we're doing everything that the law requires. Well, I feel that sometimes what the law requires isn't enough, and we need to go beyond what the law requires. If the law requires a 24 hours notice and we just call a meeting the next day at 12 o'clock, most people can't make that. So why don't we try and schedule it a few days down the road so that if people want to get to that meeting, they can. Things like that are really important. I want to have the meetings videotaped for that exact reason, because not everybody can actually make it to those meetings. And I have found out that there is a video camera installed and has been there for 4 years. It's just never been used, but it's sitting there. The equipment is there and it's ready to go. They were concerned about streaming it live. I'm not as concerned about streaming it live as I am at least just having it recorded so people can watch it at their convenience, because not everybody can make it. People have kids and families and they work during the week. So it's kind of nice that they would be able to watch that in their own time.
If you record it, how are people going to be able to access it? Go on YouTube, maybe?
Oh, yeah, just a YouTube channel. Sure, city could have a YouTube channel. Just like I'd like to see the city have a Facebook page also, so that there's a lot more communications between the city and the community.
Okay. Meeting place. You talked about possibly looking at a different meeting place.
I'm interested in looking at an alternative site. I like the train station. I love the train station because it's been remodeled, and I'm a train nut myself. But the way that building is set up, it's a long, narrow building, and you don't feel like you're part of the process when you're sitting way back in the back. So I'd be interested in looking at maybe the library, the senior center, a couple other alternative locations where we could have a larger crowd when there is issues that denotes a larger crowd. And then also making people feel a little bit more in the process, so they're not shoved way to the back of a meeting in a building. It's just not a very comfortable place to watch the city council meetings.
What have people said to you after the election? Obviously, you're in office, a couple thousand votes to your favor. What are people saying to you on the street?
Just positive. I have heard no negative. It's been everybody. People have actually said they're excited. They're excited that they voted for me. They're excited that I won. Even people who I don't know whether they voted or not have just said that they're just excited to see some changes and to see our government going in a little bit of a different direction. And again, that doesn't mean one direction as far as the economic development. We're talking about a direction of just being a little bit more responsive to the people.
Okay. Challenges for Lebanon going forward, what are they?
I think the continued economic development is going to be a challenge, especially with the new council, new mayor. Half the council's new. That we'll have a new mayor. We'll have a new city manager soon, and that's going to be a challenge. It's just getting up and running. And we are new, and we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to have issues, and we're going to have a learning curve. So that's just part of the process. But I think that we have really good people that were elected. I'm really excited, and I know that the councilors that we have in now, I think we're going to work together really well, and I think it's going to be a very, very good working relationship between us and the city council.
One of the things when you go in for a job interview, you always ask the candidate, what is your best qualities and what are your worst qualities? Now, as we look at the city of Lebanon for just overall, broad stroke, what are the difficulties for the city? Is it water? Let's talk about water rates, first of all. Water rates are high. People are complaining about those. What do we do about it?
They are. The water rates, again, and I said this during the election because I could not promise that I could change water rates because I don't think that they can be. But as I get in, I do want to look closer to the water rates and see if there's anything that we can do to ease them a bit. Just anything. I want to look at every possibility. Because it would be great if we could get in there and make a little change and maybe get a few percent, down on the water bills. I don't know if that can happen, but it's something I'm still going to look at. I'm not going to give up on that. Also, maybe some of the policies I'm not real thrilled about as far as the payment policies, the amount of time it takes. That's been changed, and people are hurting right now, and it's a tough time to change those kinds of policies, and I wasn't very happy with those, so I want to look at those also.
So you're talking about the determination policy, 30 days non-payment, they shut off?
Exactly,
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and how fast you have to pay, and if you don't, you get the door hanger, and it's another $10 or $20, and the fees just add up, and then it's no wonder that people have a hard time paying it because it's already, for our house, it's $150, 3 people. I don't water outside. It's very expensive for the water, and I understand that, and I understand that they had to raise the rates and the whole reason it happened, but it's still, we need to make things so it's not as difficult for people, and we need to try and make things a little more geared towards people that maybe can't pay. There's also been some talk about maybe a fund that we could get together for people who are having difficulties making payments, that maybe people could contribute and it could help out people who are going to get their water shut off. So there's a lot of little things that we could look at. I think they would make things a little easier.
Water seems to be an interesting issue because before I came to Albany, I was in Bend and covered Bend City Hall, Bend City Council meetings in Bend, Oregon. The residents are also screaming about water rates. There's a situation of there's an antiquated or an old feeder pipe from the watershed that is outside of the city limits of Bend, of course, and they're going to have to replace that and looking at a new water filtration plant because of a cryptosporidium, which is a little parasite that can get in, and they're possibly looking at extensive investments in infrastructure. So they're looking at very sizable increases in water. Lebanon is also yelling about water rates. Interesting.
Yeah, it is, and it's not just us. It's everywhere right now. Depending upon the city, there are different cities that have different issues, but cities of our size, we're probably about average, actually, for water rates. We're a little high, but a lot of towns right now are having that struggle. And I just read an article the other day on another town in Oregon that's going through the same exact process, and people are going through the ceiling because of the rates.
So water rates, more transparency. What are some of the other challenges?
Things like, with the economic development, one of the things I want to focus on along the lines is like, downtown, we still need to keep working on downtown Partners for Progress, the chamber, organizations of building that downtown. And, as Hassa was here a couple weeks ago when we spoke, downtown's a tough deal because it's not like the old days where we can have a bakery and the old-fashioned downtown. It's changed. Things have changed quite a bit. So it's a challenge. And then you have a lot of store owners or building owners that actually don't live in town, that maybe don't care about their buildings as much as the people who own the businesses. So there's a lot of issues, but that's an area that I want to work on. And also attractions or things to bring people to Lebanon are things I'm real interested in. The Scroggins Mill Museum I really like. I think that's a great project. Cheetah Lake is another great project. The gazebo that they're talking about putting out at Academy Square with a little bit of an amphitheater in front of the library, that's another super project. I believe the Optimists are doing that project. So there's some really neat stuff, and these are the things that are going to bring the town together. The skateboard park is another thing that you don't hear a lot about, and they've done some really great work on the skateboard park. And that's the kinds of things that makes our community a place that families want to move to and bring their kids to.
That would be a good point. Let's take a break, and then when we come back, you have a public service announcement of sorts, Christmas light demonstration.
Cascade Christmas lights, yes, our computerized light display.
We'll talk about that. We also want to remind you that if you have a nonprofit and you have an event coming up, Christmas light display, selling jelly donuts on the street corner or whatever you're doing, washing dogs, cats, cars, whatever, to raise money, or just have an event for your nonprofit, we'd like to know about it here at Valley Talk, and we will include it on the show, maybe even bring you on the show and have you talk about it. My email address is dave@kgal.com, and Valley Talk will continue in just a moment.
Albany's Mennonite Home is pleased to have earned a perfect score from the State of Oregon surveyors this month, making Mennonite Home one of the top skilled nursing and rehabilitation facilities in Oregon, providing the highest possible quality of care. As part of the Mennonite Village Retirement Community, Mennonite Home provides the rehabilitation and therapy services for people of all faiths transitioning from a hospital stay to home. They work directly with each resident's healthcare, pharmacy, and insurance providers, making life easier for residents and their families. A wide range of resident programs are offered to meet individual interests, including outdoor gardening, scenic walks, cooking and baking, art and music, pet therapy, and brain fitness activities. Mennonite Home is where you'll find superior standards and amazing levels of devotion. The proof is in their reputation and resident satisfaction. Rooms are currently available. Call Geraldine at 541-928-7232 or visit MennoniteHome.com.
What's better than watching football on Monday night? How about hanging out with a Seahawks player and Sea-Gals while you watch the game at Seahawks headquarters? Enter to win the Monday Night Viewing Party Sweepstakes, brought to you by Subway Restaurants of Western Washington and Coke Zero. You and 11 friends could win an exclusive invitation to watch the December 17th Jets-Titans TV broadcast at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center with a Seahawks player and Sea-Gals. Enter to win the ultimate Monday Night Viewing Party at Seahawks.com/viewing party.
Let yours be the first holiday gift received and the wow gift that gets the oohs and ahs. Specializing in corporate gifting, Burley's Fancies will include your company colors and on-hand promotional items in the design. Ask about your free personalization options. Call now 541-928-7808, 928-7808, or online at burleysfancies.com. Order early for best selection. You can't go wrong with Designed to Impress gift baskets by Burley's Fancies this holiday season.
Hi, this is Paul from Paul's Computer Repair and Lebanon's newly elected mayor. I want to take this time to thank you for electing me as mayor of Lebanon. The support has been overwhelming and quite honestly humbling. I also want to thank Mayor Toom for the years of service he's given the community and for the positive things he's done for Lebanon. Just to be clear, I do not plan on undoing the many successes that the city staff has worked hard to bring to Lebanon. I plan on building on the economic development and successes of Lebanon. We will soon be interviewing for a new city manager, and that will be an important job to help move Lebanon forward with economic development and transparency to the public. With the new mayor and 3 new city councilors, our community has spoken and they want a new direction for Lebanon and people with fresh ideas and perspectives. I plan on setting the tone for our city council and toward the citizens. We need a positive direction on the city council and staff. I'm available on Facebook and email, and you can even call me if you have concerns. Check out the website at paulformayor.com. Thank you to all my family who have been very supportive and helpful throughout the process. And thank you to all of you who have supported me with yard signs, Facebook, and with your votes. I'm truly honored to be your next mayor. I'm Paul Aziz, and I approve this message.
Science and Common Sense. Dr. Bill Wattenberg will surprise you Sunday nights live on Smart Talk 1580.
This is Valley Talk, talking to Paul Aziz, mayor-elect for the city of Lebanon. Once again, congratulations on your victory. And let's talk about something going on with Christmas lights that's happening at your house as a fundraiser.
It is, actually. And I know many people have driven by and seen our show. We have a computerized light display, and we take music, and we synchronize it to the songs and to the lights, and the lights dance to the songs. And it's actually broadcast on a low power FM radio station, so people can pull up in their car, sit in the comfort of their car, and they can watch the lights. And this starts every year on Thanksgiving, and it runs through the New Year's. And it's from 6 p.m. to 11, and then it's till 10 on the weeknights, and then on the weekend it's 6 to 11. And this year we have a live guest on Sunday, November 25th. So that's the Sunday right after Thanksgiving at 6 p.m. Judy Pancoast, who is a Grammy-nominated singer, will be coming. She's a children's singer. She'll be coming and doing one of her songs live, and then some other songs along with that from her Christmas album.
What time?
Right in front of our display. That'll be at 6 p.m. on Sunday the 25th. And so it's really, really exciting. She will also, the next day after she does our concert, she'll be going over to the Lebanon Library, and on the 26th, on Monday night, and she'll be doing a concert on Monday night there, and it's a free concert. Both of these events are free, and everything is being done for the Lebanon Soup Kitchen. That's our charity, and I just love the Lebanon Soup Kitchen, the work that they do. And so we gather donations. Last year we gathered $1,300 in donations and 500 pounds of food for the Soup Kitchen, and we want to double it this year.
Okay. We do want to remind you that if you have a nonprofit and you have an event going on, that we would love to share knowledge of your nonprofit. Just give me an email, dave@kgal.com, and we would love to mention your event. I've got a couple events here I'm personally involved in. One of them, we're selling raffle tickets for a Disneyland trip. And this trip, raffle tickets are $10 each. All the money goes to a missions trip to New Zealand that I'm going to be taking first 2 weeks in January. We're going to be reporting from the Parachute Music Festival, which is a Christian music festival. We'll be reporting for that on the JesusNetwork.net, which is an online Christian news network that I operate when I'm not behind the microphone here. Tickets are $10, and the winner of the raffle will get a $2,700 prize coupons for Disney adventures. So you can go to any Disney theme park, and we've changed it a little bit because of some things we ran into. So it's a $2,700 coupons or benefits or checks that we will write from the ministry directly to the either travel agency or Disneyland theme park for that vacation, or $2,500 in cash, whichever one you want. And so you can contact me, Dave, at 541-280-8833, 541-280-8833 on that. We're also planning a Cheetah Lake Worship Festival, July 27th and 28th, 2-day event of Christian music at Cheetah Lake. Would like to have the churches and ministries in the area contact me and share what we're planning on doing there. That's July 27th and 28th, 2-day worship festival at Cheetah Lake, and we'll have camp out as well, so overnight kind of thing. Slumber party, Christian slumber party. Paul, congratulations once again. Thank you for being on the show. And we've got, let's see how long we've got. We've got a few more seconds. Looks like we're about out of time. Thank you for being on the show. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And thank you, people of Lebanon. I really appreciate it.
And we want to bring him back as a regular guest, too. We'll be telling you about the schedule on that here on Valley Talk to let people know what's going on in Lebanon. Paul, thank you. I'm Dave Adams. This is Valley Talk.
The Mid-Valley home of Smart Talk. This is News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.